have the capacity to absorb all that information. So you have
to see, you know all sorts of things that I don't know about. So there's always, people are experts in their own field.
True. It's a big, wonderful world.
That's right. We all trade knowledge and help each other out, you know? It's like a barter system for knowledge.
Very well put.
You can help me with 80s music, and I'll help you with IT questions.
Wow, and you know, that photo, which I'm putting as the podcast picture, is of an actual Kathy's Corner that you found. That they sell.
That was so funny.
They sell produce.
Matt and I were driving up through Napa to go to Clear Lake for a weekend, and we went on the, like, kind of back road. You know, there's the main road you go up through Napa, and then there's a road that runs parallel that's further east.
Uh-huh.
So we're driving up that further east road, and we turned a corner, and there was this organic food stand, and they had this big sign out that said, Kathy's Corner, organic produce. And I was like, oh, my God, I have to take a picture of this for Mike Matthews, because it's perfect.
Yay, and it's the podcast picture today, because... Now, that's what I'll think of when we say Kathy's Corner. I'll think of that Kathy's Corner. But instead of produce, you have sweet knowledge.
Blueberry pancakes.
And blueberry pancakes. Oh, and now
many things to offer.
And now we talk about The Biggest Loser, the new season.
Okay, let's talk about that, because it's very exciting, and it's very motivational. In fact, I just got an elliptical machine in my house.
Whoa.
So now I can, instead of sitting on my behind while I watch Biggest Loser, I can do the elliptical machine and watch Biggest Loser.
Wow, you'll be burning calories while you're watching a show about burning calories. That's awesome.
Yeah, and not think about the blueberry pancakes I just made.
Well, I guess you could make them with wheat flour and it'd be a little less, but still, I don't know.
Or oat flour, maybe. Yeah.
See, but once in a while, it's good to have a treat like that.
It is. And they were just actually speaking about that on the last one that I watched about, they went to the kids' house, because I like this whole trying to do something about childhood obesity. Going to kids' houses and looking through all the food, and you don't need to keep chocolate in the house. You have plenty of opportunities out in the world to eat snacks and treats, and it's okay to do it. You just don't need to do it at home every day, all day long.
That was a really good point that they brought that up too, because there is. I remember growing up, everybody's house had all the M&Ms sitting on the counter, and all these things, and you just. Oh boy! And you sit and watch the TV, like in that playroom that they were cooped up in for 4.5 hours, and it promotes bad habits. And
although I was thinking about that fun room, and I was like, well, the food, okay, that was just ridiculous. Like, I totally thought it was great that they poured the orange juice all over everything.
Yeah,
but. The video games in there looked super fun. They have a pinball machine, and you can burn some calories like slamming the pinball machine around.
Right.
Like, why didn't they play the pinball?
Yeah, that's what I thought. As soon as they put them in there, I told Robin I'd be on the video games. I'd be playing those.
Absolutely.
And and then you could be running in place. But like you said, they probably weren't supposed to do any exercise. We were discussing this.
They didn't really explain that whole situation very well. It was just like, you're stuck in this room. I mean, if they did the last chance workout in there, you'd think that Bob would have said, okay, well, you're in a room. There's lots of stuff you can do in a room. You know. Tell
me, is it me, or does Allison Sweeney always look like she's crying?
She's such an awkward person. She did the Rose Parade, after Thanksgiving this year. She was commentating it with Al Roker.
Oh God!
And my mom turned on the TV and she's like, "Oh my God, who is that blonde woman?" I'm like, "Oh my God, it's Allison Sweeney." I had to explain to my mother who she was, and she's like, "Oh," because I've actually told her that The Biggest Loser is like the only good reality television show that exists. So she gave her some slack for that, but I'm like, she doesn't do live television very well at all. I mean, she's a soap opera star. What are you going to do?
And she actually appeared on an episode of Friends as a soap opera star. I think it was Joey was on some soap opera and she was involved with them or something. And she was actually believable in that, but when she's on that show, she is so awkward. Like, just like, I've never been on television before. Help me. And I'm going to cry now because you didn't lose enough weight. And I have to tell you guys to run around the world 5 times.
I think the part she does well at is the challenges, but, because she's sitting there screaming at them, and she has the things that she says. She's like, oh, no, this person's falling behind, and, and she sort of commentates it.
Yeah.
Which is really funny. But she is awkward. I mean, it's take any soap opera star and put them in that position, and they're like, oh, Rick, I love you, I'm having your baby, but I can't be with you anymore. I must kill myself and then be resurrected next week. I mean, it's all so ridiculous.
Yeah, it is strange reality that she has to. But she's gotten quite popular with Biggest Loser. So, and is she married to a football star or something? I don't know.
I don't know. I wonder what the internet would say about that.
Now, you like sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
Can you suggest any good sci-fi movies or TV shows that maybe I don't know about?
Well, I could tell you I'm a huge Star Trek fan. So obviously anything in the Star Trek realm, and my mom and I would watch The Next Generation when I was growing up. So I watched like all of that and all of Voyager and all that.
Wow.
However, I have 2 favorite all-time sci-fi television shows. The first of which is Red Dwarf, which is this ridiculous British sci-fi comedy show.
I remember it actually has a laugh track.
Yeah, originally it was taped and then filmed, and they got the laughs from the tape they played back in front of an audience.
Oh, wow.
And then they used the laugh track for like some of the later seasons.
Okay, but it's like a sci-fi sitcom almost.
Yes, yeah. So it's a half an hour show, and they don't have a huge number of seasons or episodes in the season because it's British, and they always seem to have very short seasons.
Yeah.
But it's very awesome and funny.
I just got done watching off Netflix The Vicar of Dibley, and it was created by Richard Curtis, who wrote Love Actually and Notting Hill, and I think he also wrote 4 Weddings and a Funeral. And you see a lot of the stars from those stars that were, secondary players sort of off in the background. They're like in the show. And you're like, oh, that's the girl from Notting Hill. And that's the guy from 4 Weddings and a Funeral. And then in the final episode, they had the guy who plays Lord Grantham from Downton Abbey. I don't know how that happened.
He's pretty awesome. He was also in an episode of Doctor Who.
Really?
Yes, in one of the, not this most recent season, but the season before that. It was pretty awesome.
Ooh, okay. As I told you when I saw you yesterday at the park, I'm rewatching all the new Doctor Who's from 2005 on.
Yeah.
And
they're pretty awesome.
I've noticed that when I watch them before, I kind of watch them sort of, I'll make a sandwich. And you miss so much, especially, when you're an American, you're not so used to the British, the really thick accents and the different dialects. Did I say dialects or dialects?
Either way, it's trouble.
And so now watching it again, I'm picking up all this other stuff. But I watched something on Netflix last night. It wasn't very good, actually, but it's only going to be on Netflix for about another week or 2. And it's called Dalek Mania. And I thought it was...
yeah, I saw that sitting there.
Yeah, don't watch it because it's really... it looks like it was done by someone who really loves Doctor Who, but not the British Doctor Who. They like the American Doctor Who, which was 2 movies that was made in 1965 and 66 with Peter Cushing.
That sounds abysmal.
It's not even like Doctor Who, except they have the TARDIS, but Doctor Who in those American movies was like a guy who was not a Time Lord. He was just some human guy who had 2 daughters, and it's pretty bad. That's
strange. They must have redone it to try and cater to an American audience or something.
And so this documentary is all about that, and they actually talked to people that were in those movies and stuff. But after I watched it, I'm like, I think I'll tell people not to watch it. And then I realized I shouldn't be a critic because you have to watch things you don't want to watch, and that's tough.
Well, I mean, it paints a bigger picture of the Doctor Who world, I guess.
Yeah. So we were talking about Downton Abbey. Oh no, Doctor Who.
Let me just give you one more show that's the best show ever, and everybody kind of poo-poos it, but Babylon 5 is the greatest sci-fi show ever written.
Oh, really? That's with what stars in that?
Bruce Boxleitner.
Oh, okay. From The Scarecrow and
awesome.
Mrs. Queen. The Scarecrow and Mrs. King.
Yes.
What was that show?
Yes. Yeah, but it was that old. It was the lady, and was she older? I didn't actually see it, but I looked it up a while ago.
It was the girl from Charlie's Angels that was like a housewife, and he was a spy, and
Scarecrow and Mrs. King is what the internet says.
Oh, excellent.
Oh, he was also in Tron.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Wow. Gosh.
Yeah.
So Babylon 5.
Pretty awesome. It's really, really, really good. And it's one of those things where you watch an episode and you're like, what? This makes no sense, and it's really lame. But if you watch it from beginning to end, it's very, like, whole arcing. It was one of the first sci-fis that had, like, a 5-year arc to it that was very intricate and amazing. And the last episode, I, like, sobbed like a little baby. It was really good.
It was an episode of a little baby?
Me sobbing like a little baby.
Have you okay, yeah.
Yes, that was really good.
All right, well, I will check that out, because I guess I never thought I was a sci-fi enthusiast, parentheses nerd, but I guess I am. So, here we go.
Woo! Yeah.
Babylon 5.
Try it out. Good one.
Oh, and then finally, we were going to discuss Downton Abbey.
Yes, it's kind of caters to the whole British thing, since I'm an Anglophile, and I guess a lot of Americans are, because it's super popular, and who knew?
Yeah, and so last episode there was somebody got thrown at the altar.
Oh yes, Lady Edith got left at the altar, and she was going to marry the older guy, who I thought was just lovely. I thought that he was dumb. The whole thing was dumb. Although I did feel a little weird about it when she was talking to him about him being sort of crotchety and having being injured and stuff, and that she didn't love him in spite of it. She loved him because of it.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
Well, that's a little weird. That's weird. Maybe this isn't right.
Wonderfully written, though, because it was delivered just so you're like, oh, red flag, but is it a red flag?
Yeah.
It is a red flag. Okay. You're like wondering, I don't know, and then it is, because you see the situations.
And, I mean, the whole thing is making me, I work at a women's college, and thinking about her being left at the altar, and Mary getting married finally, and wondering if she's going to have babies right away, because that's like her job, to have babies and heirs and people to take on the role of the next generation, and Sybil running off with the footmen, and that in 1920 women had almost received the vote. So I think that's going to be a big thing to play in the next upcoming episodes, is how the three daughters have very different roles as women in that era, and how they'll sort of evolve and change, and how that will sort of fit into the era. I think
see.
It's really interesting.
And we haven't gotten to World War II yet. I wonder if we will at some point.
Who knows? I mean, we just got over World War I, and there's a lot of interesting stuff that happens in the middle there. And I think that, I don't know, we'll see. I mean, they did take a big break in terms of timeline. But, people aren't going to age properly. So I think 20 years is kind of a long time.
So finally, Mr. Bates.
Mr. Bates is in jail. He's seeming kind of like meaner and meaner.